Hola, me llamo Gretchen Suarez Peña. Hello, my name is Gretchen Suarez Peña, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there with you all today. I'm going to be reading my speech here on my computer and hopefully give you the effect like I'm there with you. I hope the little bit of time that we spend together will encourage you to reach for your dreams and do anything that you set your mind to. A little about myself. I'm an engineer and a playwright, which is a person who writes plays for the stage. And for a short stint, I was a co host for a local radio station here in Lakeland. I was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I moved to Lakeland, Florida when I was just a toddler. Spanish was my first language, although when I started kindergarten, I was fully bilingual. I went to elementary, middle, and high school in Bartow, and I graduated from the IB program at Bartow High School in 2005. And then after that, I attended the University of South Florida, where I got my bachelor's degree in civil engineering. And then after that, I did an online graduate program with the University of Florida in environmental engineering. That's where I got my master's degree. I've been working in the civil engineering field since I was 17 years old. I had this great internship at the time and was able to be coached by wonderful people who encouraged me in the field. I lived in Kansas for 3 years with my husband, who's in the Army. Currently, he's just a reservist. And I lived in Miami for 3 years. When my husband was attending law school. I have one son, and I currently live in Bartow. Like I mentioned before, I've been working in the civil engineering field since I was 17. I've primarily worked in the transportation engineering field, which is the design of roadways and pedestrian facilities. My official job is as a drainage engineer, and I've been doing drainage work for about 13 years. Have you noticed that in Florida it rains a lot? I like to say that rain is job security. I design the infrastructure that drains away the rainwater that falls on roads and other areas like sidewalks or buildings or parking lots or even soccer fields. I design retention and detention ponds, and I design the pipe system and ditches that convey stormwater runoff. When we have development, three things happen. We get more volume of water because there's less ground for the rainwater to infiltrate. The water moves faster because if you've noticed, pavement is very slick. And also, the water gets dirtier because it picks up debris and pollutants from the developed environment. So, as a drainage engineer, I take care of those things. I make sure that we don't have erosion as because of the water moving faster. I make sure that we're not flooding any area, and I also make sure that we keep the water clean. Civil engineering is a great career for anybody who's interested. It branches everything from structures and bridges and water resources and soil engineering and transportation engineering and everything that has to do with infrastructure development that keeps our modern society going. You may not have noticed those inlets and ponds on the side of the road, but someone designed those, and they designed it so that you would be safe when it rains and that the environment remains healthy. Along with being a civil engineer, I'm also a playwright. I've loved theater since I was a child and I was involved in acting and performing since I was little. But in high school, I started writing plays and did that off and on for many years. But really, about 5 years ago, I've been actively writing and getting my shows produced locally and also around the country. I've won some awards, and I'm actively pursuing several projects, including a collaboration with the New York City composer, and also my musical, Melina, a steampunk musical tragedy, is getting a world premiere in Orlando this spring. I like to call it a telenovela on stage. You can learn more about that on my Facebook page, Plays by Gretchen, or you can go to my website, gretchensuarezpena.com. Today, I'd like to talk about what success will look like for you. I want to talk about what it means to be part of a community and the importance of building a tribe around you that will support you. I want to talk about the things that you need to learn and know so that you can have success with whatever it is you dream of being or doing. First, I'm going to talk about making SMART goals, SMART goals. Then I'm going to talk about narrowing down your life so that you're doing the essential things to make sure that those goals are reached. Then I'm going to talk about the importance of being a reader, a good speaker, and a good writer, and how that translates to every part of your life. Finally, I'm going to talk about the importance of building community, the community around you that will encourage you on your journey. I think it's super important to define the things that you want in life. First, you absolutely need to write down your goals and dreams. I'm serious. Take out a piece of paper, write it down, write it in a journal, put it someplace where you're going to see it over and over again so you can refine it as life goes on. You need to make goals that are SMART, SMART. These goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. A lot of people just say things that they want. They want to be successful, they want to be rich, they want to have a big house, but they don't make a plan as to how to get it. Any goal or dream that you have needs to be written down and it needs to be specific. Do you want to be an engineer by the time that you're 22 years old? Do you want to have $1 million by the time you're 40? What is it that you want to do? What do you want to become? You want to make sure that it's specific. Also note that both of those examples that I just gave actually created a measurable component to that goal. I said I want to do X by a certain time or a certain age. That's what I mean by measurable. When you set a time-based goal, you can backtrack and make a plan to get there. If I have 5 years to do something, then I can look at what I need to do in year 1 or year 2, etc. Goals don't have to be that far off, too. If you want to read 5 books in 5 months, then that means you need to read 1 book a month. And if in 1 month you've read a book, then that means you've met your goal. Measurable and time-based. Those things will keep you accountable. This also ties into that portion of being achievable and relevant. You want to create a goal that you know that you can reach. If you've never painted in your life, chances are that being a world-renowned painter by the time you're 16 is not going to happen. But if you start painting now, by the time you're 20, you're 25, you'll have reached some notoriety for your painting. You've got to give yourself the right amount of time to achieve that goal. Anything is possible with enough time and energy, but you've got to make sure that it's attainable. Making $1 million next year is probably not going to happen, but having $1 million by the time you're 40 is totally attainable. Also, is it relevant? If you want to be an engineer, then going to school for psychology is not relevant to your goal. You want to set goals and guidelines to get you to the place you want to go. This will force you to make mini goals for those big dreams. I need to take calculus so that I can get my degree in engineering, which means I need to take geometry and then trigonometry before I get to calculus. Mini goals. This leads me to my next point, narrowing down your life to the essentials. A lot of people ask me how it is that I can do all the things that I do. I'm an engineer, I write plays, I have a family, I'm very busy. Well, the key is that I've narrowed down my life to about 5 key categories. The first one being faith. I attend church and I'm part of a faith community that's important to me. The second is relationships. I maintain relationships with my family and friends. I spend time with them and that enriches me as a person. Third, engineering. Anything that progresses my engineering career or those of other engineers around me, I'm going to contribute my time to. Fourth, theater. My life is richer because of theater. Therefore, I spend my time doing things that will enrich my career as a playwright and also enrich the theater community around me. Finally, financial stability and literacy. It's important for me to know how to handle my money, and it's important for me to help others be able to handle their money. So that's it. Those are the 5 things that I spend my time on. If anything is proposed to me that is outside of those 5 categories, I just don't do them. I'm not a gym rat. I don't make lavish meals. I don't do crafts. I hate shopping. And I don't really go on trips or do things that don't really sustain any of those 5 categories. I don't spend my money on the things that don't encourage those 5 categories. I spend my time, energy, talents, and resources on those things that I've narrowed them down to. So when you narrow down your life to the 5 or 6 essential things, you'll learn that you have plenty of time to do all the things you actually want to do. Which leads me to, you need to harness the power of no now as a young person. Now, granted, as a young person, you don't always have a lot of say in the things that you can or cannot do because your time and your mobility is limited. But if you start addressing the things that you want now, you'll be better off in your adulthood to say yes to the things that bring you closer to the things that you want. Saying no to the things that distract you means that, yeah, maybe it would be nice to stay up and have fun with your friends, but you have a test tomorrow. And if you stay up late, you're going to not get enough sleep and do poorly on that test. And that test is going to dictate your grade in the class, which may dictate if you get your degree on time or not. So maybe you don't hang out with your friends late. You go get some sleep, take your test in the morning, and then next week, when you don't have a test, you can hang out with your friends. It's all about managing your time so that you can meet your expectations. Now, I'm going to talk about some practical things that you need to know as you grow up and work towards your goals. There are some things that you need to have no matter what career or goals and dreams you have. You need to be a reader, you need to be a good writer, and you need to be a good speaker, which means that you need to be a good listener. Knowledge and communication are the cornerstones of our current knowledge-based economy. Readers are leaders. I've heard it said that if you read anywhere from 3 to 10 books on any subject, you're an expert on that subject, Reading about a subject can make you incredibly knowledgeable about it. You've got to learn how to read too. You can't just sit there and zombie out reading page after page. Read the title. Analyze what it means. What is the author trying to say? Look at the table of contents. What are the chapter titles telling you? Go and read the end of the book, unless it's a mystery novel. Reading the ending usually gives you the thesis of what the author is trying to say, the purpose of them writing the book. This is really great for scholarly work or nonfiction work. But I also encourage you to read fiction for pleasure and for growth. Just like movies and plays, reading works of literature makes us more empathetic towards other people. They change how we think and they change how we behave. I believe reading is the number one thing that can change your life, not only for your future success, but also for your individual emotional and mental health. I can find a lot of answers by reading. Next, you need to learn how to write. It's absolutely important that you know how to communicate your ideas in the written form. Whether it's an email or a report, I could do an entire lecture on how to be an effective writer. I'm a writer. I do it all the time for playwriting, but also in my engineering job. I do a lot of technical writing. Communicating your ideas is extremely important and also shows others that you know what you're talking about. We live in a knowledge-based economy, and knowing things and being able to communicate the things we know is absolutely important. If you ever need help learning how to write, talk to your teachers, talk to your librarian, read books about writing. You can also reach out to me and I will try to help. Next, you need to learn to be a good speaker, which in turn means you need to be a good listener. Listening is really hard in our world because everyone has a response already waiting when someone else is saying something. But if you take the time to listen to your teachers and the people around you, you will become more observant. Listening helps you digest information and analyze it so that you can better communicate your thoughts. Listen well so that you can respond well. Speaking in front of others, whether in a presentation or just in everyday life, means being able to communicate your ideas and thoughts clearly. I encourage you to take a class on public speaking or just take the time to think before you speak. What is it that you want to communicate? Your thoughts, your wants, your needs, your opinions, facts. Being a good reader, a good writer, and a good communicator will help you in every aspect of your life. It will enrich you in ways that you didn't think possible because reading, writing, and communicating well can unlock doors through networking and through our knowledge-based economy. Finally, I want to talk about community. I don't know all of your circumstances. I grew up in a world where I had supportive parents and I had supportive friends. But even then, sometimes I felt very alone when I was pursuing my dreams and trying to do the things that I wanted to do. Maybe you're a situation where you're in a situation where you don't have the support of your family and friends. So what I want you to do is I want you to start building a tribe. Look to the people who you admire and ask them to be your mentor. Learn to listen and watch what they do and model it. If you want to be a painter, look up the painters that you admire and mimic what they do. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. If you like to write, read all the books by your favorite author. What is it that they do that you also want to do well? And then surround yourself with the people who are going to encourage you. Sometimes your friend that you like to hang out with and have fun with is not going to be the friend that's going to encourage you to go after your goals. I'll give you an example. One of my closest friends who I love dearly and who I've spent a good amount of time with in my life, who I enjoy spending time with, they don't look at things that I do with great appreciation, and they think it takes up too much of my time. They think that it's a waste of time to continue to do the things that I'm doing when I could just be relaxing and having fun. But the thing is, I do have fun doing the things that I love to do in playwriting and theater, even if it is a lot of work. So even though I love this person dearly, I don't spend a lot of time with them anymore. I spend more time with the people who are encouraging me in the pursuit of the things that I love. I've built a tribe around me of people that I admire and of people who will push me to do the things that I am meant to do. Find your tribe. Find the people who are going to encourage you to do the things that you are meant to do because you are here for a purpose. I know that the time that we've had together has been very brief, and I know that I'm not there in person. I wish I could be there so I could answer your questions, but I'm going to put my email at the end of this presentation so that you can contact me if you have any questions, and I will try my hardest to get back to you. But also, look around you. Who are the people that you can reach out to that can support you and can help you narrow down what it is that you need to do to reach your goals? Any one of you can be an engineer, a doctor, a teacher, a tradesperson, a painter, a musician, a real estate agent, an entrepreneur. The sky is the limit, and the variety of futures are as creative and as unique as you all are. You all have the capacity to do great things, not just in your work, but in your lives. You can be great friends and great parents and great mentors yourself when you get older. The future is uncertain and the world is unpredictable. But the one thing you can do is control yourself. You can control the choices that you make moving forward so that you can put yourself in the best position possible. Never close yourself off to the opportunities that come your way, and never stop learning and growing. Buena suerte. Good luck. I know you can do it.